Oh my god, hey, it's Mickey Joe Theatre here, currently in New York, seeing as many Broadway and off-Broadway plays and musicals as I can. And I have just attempted to visit every single Broadway theatre in an hour. You're about to find out whether I completed that challenge or not. Take a look. Okay, so the last time I did this challenge, I started at Lincoln Center at the Vivian Beaumont. I'm about to do a challenge where I see if it's possible to get to every single Broadway theatre in less than an hour. Immediately got the subway down to the Nederlander. This is the exit for 40th Street and 7th. I wanted the exit for 41st and 7th, but I am right by this one. This time I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to start at the Nederlander, which is where I am right now. I'm going to work my way up. I'm going to try and spend less time crossing over Broadway and 7th Avenue. I'm going to try and do a bit of the left, then do all of the right-hand side, then come back, do the rest of the left. We have 12 theatres left to see, and I'm going 2 streets back on myself. I've planned this poorly, and I might try and finish at the Winter Garden. Again, this seems a bit weird. It's right next to the subway to then shoot up to Lincoln Center to finish there. My finish line will be connecting to the Vivian Beaumont Theatre. And I think the rules to make it specific, I have to either pass underneath the theatre, which is where I am right now here at the Nederlander, or touch the building in some capacity. And it has to be the front and not the stage door. Those are the rules I have given myself. I say that looking at the stage door right now for the New Amsterdam. It has just gone 11. Annoyingly, I'm not going to start at a round number. The street's already busier than I would like for them to be. I should have started this earlier today, but I overslept a little bit. We're going to do our best to make this work. So starting at the Nederlander here, which is currently dark, most recently the home of the Who's Tommy, a new musical, Redwood, starring Idina Menzel, coming here, as is signposted, at the start of 2025. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I'm off. Okay, the hour has begun. Started at the Nederlander, underneath the front of the theatre. The lights have just changed for me. Broadway, I love you. Okay, next up is going to be 42nd Street for the New Amsterdam Theatre and the Todd Haynes Theatre, previously the American Airlines Theatre. That's a Roundabout Theatre Company theatre. Just slightly more people than I would like on the street. I'm not going to run. Safety first. And I don't know if that's sustainable, and I don't want to cause panic on the streets around me, so I'm just going to power walk while holding a camera, because that's definitely less weird. Coming up to the actual 42nd Street, legit 42nd Street, where you will find the New Amsterdam Theatre on one side and the Todd Haynes on the other. Here you go. That is the New Amsterdam Theatre. Aladdin lives there, recently celebrated a decade on Broadway. They've got the lamp and everything. We're about to pass beneath its glorious flashing bulbs. Disney own and operate the New Amsterdam Theatre. It's gorgeous. It's a former Follies house. Visit that just to see the theatre. 2 down. The Todd Haynes is across the street by the Target over there. Yellowface, starring Daniel Day Kim, currently performing there. As we said, Roundabout Theatre Company. New York Times Critics Pick. Those traffic lights are going to change as soon as I get to them. That is the dream. Today is all about dreams. And the dream is very much alive. 2 minutes in and we've done 2 theatres. Have these lights changed for me? No, they have not. Are they about to? Wait. I am waiting. You wait. Wait. I pressed the button. I don't think that does anything, but that's fine. Ah! We're going. It's happening. Let me show you the view from my face. And the Todd Haynes. Shout out to this new vlogging camera, by the way, that is doing a much better job at this challenge than the previous one that I used. This spot is where I ran into a school group and had to slow down last time. I'm stuck in a school group. I go to this school now. That's unfortunate. Now I am breezing through. At the time of filming, I haven't seen Yellowface on Broadway yet. I'm going to try and see it this weekend because I've heard good things. There is an entrance to the Lyric Theatre on this street, but the official one is on the next street over, and I'm holding myself to that technicality. Do not get corn dogs from these Nathan's carts in Times Square. It's very expensive for what it is. If they don't show the prices, know that they're ludicrous. Heading up to the Lyric Theatre, where I'm going to issue you a short disclaimer, because in all of my content I don't like to even show or talk about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, because of the involvement of J.K. Rowling, because of her extraordinary anti-trans prejudice, which, can I say, has only become exponentially worse since the last time I did this challenge and said that. And people used to sort of shield behind she's not anti-trans, she's pro-women. And she is demonstrably not. The number of attacks on women's rights that have occurred within the last year that she has remained silent about, while taking every opportunity to attack the trans community, is bitterly transparent. And there's no way for me to show or talk about this show without in some way promoting it and making someone go, oh, I didn't know that was a thing, I'll buy tickets, and that's what I don't want to happen. I cannot support this show. I could get emotional talking about it, honestly. And underneath, I'm circling around. This is nothing against the work being done by the individuals working on that show, by the cast, by the creatives. I just can't, in good faith, endorse or support. Oh, I didn't want to cross the street. We've made our first mistake. I forgot that the Stephen Sondheim is on the side I was already on. Right. We're crossing over Broadway now. Broadway and 7th Avenue. The light's already not really on my side. I can quickly cross back. We're doing that. Yes, that was a better choice. Okay, I'd have had to wait for this anyway. So there you go, I've lost no time there. Gotta think better. I was too upset. I blame J.K. Rowling for that one, actually. Heading down to my favourite named Broadway theatre, quite possibly, the Stephen Sondheim Theatre. This was renamed within his lifetime, so he got to see that and he got to know about it. And slightly incongruously, it is the home of And Juliet, which of course originated in the UK and is currently on a major UK tour, but it's still running here at the Stephen Sondheim. It's recently had a cast change. Liam Pearce from How to Dance in Ohio has joined the cast as Romeo. I'm sure he's fantastic because he's a extraordinarily talented rising star. I saw him yesterday in a reading of a new Ryan Scott Oliver musical and he was so good. I would go back to And Juliet just to see him as Romeo, and I might. Here we go. The scaffolding has gone down. I'm so happy, this looks so much better now. We are going to approach, we're going to arrive, we're going to reverse, and we're going to head back on our way. In fact, we're going to try and cross the street. And these cars are at a standstill and there's nothing behind them. And jaywalking has just been legalized in New York City, before anyone ats me in the comments. But obviously, you can use the actual crossing points and cross safely. Do as I say, not as I do. Heading up through this car park that's going to connect us to the next street. This parking garage. Now, fun fact about this, I know this is here because there was a story written about it because of two actors. She was in And Juliet, covering in the ensemble and covering Anne Hathaway and the nurse, and he was in the play Goodnight Oscar when it was at the Belasco with Sean Hayes, and there was a piece written about how they would come and meet, because they're a street apart, they would come and meet in this parking garage because they were partners romantically and both on different Broadway shows. And I always think about that when I walk through this parking garage. But this is going to connect us to the Hudson Theatre and the Belasco. Crossing the street safely because there's no traffic. There are many cars outside of hotels, many hotels on this street. Oh, they're taking a group photo. Oh, they've just finished the group photo. Oh, I know what it is. It's not a group photo. They're on a Broadway Up Close tour, which you can do. Broadway Up Close, they know so many things about New York theatre history. Once Upon a Mattress There, starring Sutton Foster and Michael Urie. Classic, funny, charming, whimsical. Highly recommend. The perfect jet lag show, I think, because it's just light, it's comedic, you don't have to think, and it's all about falling asleep or not falling asleep. So that's quite charming. Ahead of me, maybe happy ending. I mentioned How to Dance in Ohio. This is the theatre where it was, the Belasco. She's haunted. Fun fact, maybe happy ending is currently here. The word of mouth that this show is getting among my friends in the theatre community, I have heard nothing but excellent things. Helen J. Shen and Darren Criss star together. I've heard it's like Pixar vibes. I've heard it's lovely. I'm seeing it tonight. Cannot wait. Subscribe and stay tuned for the reviews I will share on here. And you can go and check out my New York vlog series from this most recent trips. Probably a 4-part series because I'm here for a very long time. How are we doing on time? Speaking of time, less than 10 minutes in. Have we done 10 theatres though? No, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Need to up the pace a little bit, but we're going to try and take out this whole right-hand side. This is going to take us to the Lyceum. Oh no, we've hit traffic. Oh no. Can I start walking left in the hope that the traffic subsides? On this next street up, 45th? I think I'm on 45th already. You will find the Museum of Broadway, as well as the Lyceum Theatre, where Oh Mary by Cola Scola, and starring Cola Scola currently, is playing on Broadway. That's a very hot ticket. That's a queue up at 5:30 a.m. in the morning kind of a hot ticket, which in and of itself is very fun as a concept, that a downtown queer play has become this commercial hot ticket on Broadway. And that's the kind of magical thing that can happen on Broadway, because quality really can uplift. I don't know if I can say the same for the West End. A show can be really fantastic, really beloved, really critically extraordinary, and I don't know if we're capable of the same kind of buzzy conversation that drives something into that kind of status. And strange as it may sound, a lot of that is just because bars close earlier in London, so people don't go places after shows and talk about things. They all get the train home. Where do those conversations happen about, like, oh, you must see the show? Anyway, coming up past the Museum of Broadway. Museum with a lowercase m, because it's more about stunning exhibits and selfie spots than it is about the history. They also have a great gift shop you're seeing just there. But this is the Lyceum, currently very yellow with Oh Mary. There you go. Are we going to stay on this side of the street? Are we going to cross over? Am I going to change my plans? Oh, okay, here's the deal. If I get to the end of this street and I can cross immediately, I will. And if I can't, I'll turn right. I'm going to let the traffic lights guide me, because I've now gone past a couple streets that I could go back and do, but I was going to go and do the whole right-hand side so I didn't have to keep doing this left-right cross. It's currently a don't cross. Is the left one just ending? The left one is just ending. Okay, we're doing it. We're going back over. Because there's 5 seconds left on this one, which means I can cross left, which is where I need to be. And then in a few seconds, I'll be able to cross over this way. Also, Times Square, everybody. A better view of Times Square there. Oop. As we cross the street. There you go, there's Times Square. She's longer than you'd imagine, honestly. Just extends into sort of a long corridor. Someone's proving a point. Here's how we're going to do this. We're going to walk through the Minskoff. The Minskoff is the home to the Lion King. You can see the signage here. The actual entrance is in the middle of one of these breezeways. Breezeways are these little channels that I'm passing through that cut through a block. Let me show you. So this is the entrance to the Minskoff. In fact, you have to go up escalators to get to the Minskoff Theatre auditorium. You can see those escalators there. That's the box office on the left. And the stairs and escalators in the centre there for the Minskoff, for The Lion King. One of Broadway's longest running, most dependable shows. Back on 44th, standstill traffic allows me to cross the street. Perfect, glorious, wonderful. If we were doing this a little earlier in the day, we might see playbill vans delivering the playbills. You can usually see those before 10 a.m. if you're queuing up for rush tickets. Rush tickets are sold by most Broadway shows around 10 a.m. or at 10 a.m. when the box office opens, slightly later on a Sunday. At box office discretion, limited number. Not every show does those. You can check bwayrush.com for a good overview of the rush ticket policies, as well as lotteries, student deals, digital lotteries, digital rush, etc. Rush tickets, if you rock up to the box office at 10 a.m. or queue in advance of 10 a.m. as you will need to do for some of the more popular shows, you can get usually around like $45, $50 tickets. Sometimes they're great seats, sometimes they're a little restricted, but they are a darn sight cheaper than you will get otherwise. Anyway, coming up to Cult of Love, which is not yet opened at the Hayes Theatre, one of my favourite playhouses here on Broadway, operated by Second Stage Theatre Company. Job just recently ended its limited run there, but it's possibly the smallest Broadway house. It's a lovely intimate space to see a play in. I've been there 3 times. Now passing Sunset Boulevard. Sure, I came out here to make my name at the St. James Theatre. Also, a horse. No traffic on the street, which means we can cross the Majestic Theatre, previously the home of Phantom of the Opera, now about to be home to the revival of Gypsy, starring OHMYGOD. Here she is, boys. Here she is, world. Here's Audra. There you go. Did you see that? Sneak peek of the stage. Sneak peek. Wow. Coming up next, the Broadhurst. Recently visited the Broadhurst for the first time to see the hills of California. The Hills of California, which is a transfer from the West End. Many of its West End cast having come over with the show. Can recommend. Great play. Next up, Hell's Kitchen. I think my walking pace has slowed down. I'm going to speed up a bit. Oh, we're sweating. It's unseasonably warm for mid-November, can I just say. It's something like the 8th of November. It's so warm. Hell's Kitchen, here at the Schubert Theatre. Jukebox musical, featuring the music of Alicia Keys. Look at that yellow. Loosely based on her own life story. Featuring Tony Award-winning performances and thumping beats. Passing up Schubert Alley now, my favourite place in the entire world. You can take your photos with posters. You can get merchandise from One Schubert Alley when it opens. You can get cheesecake from Junior's Cheesecake. That's the takeaway window. You can also go and sit in Junior's restaurant, who have decided it's already Christmas. Next up here at the booth is The Roommate. 44th and 45th is going to be the most tightly packed combination of theatres. I'm going to keep you forward facing so you can see all of these. The Roommate, starring Patti LuPone and Mia Farrow. That's a nice one-act play. Next up, The Notebook. Many of these shows closing by January, unfortunately. The Notebook, based on the novel and the film. Very emotional, very romantic, great performances. I've seen it twice, and I do enjoy it very much. Next up, The Outsiders here at the Jacobs. Last season's Tony Award-winning Best Musical, very popular show. This is the other one. You will need to get here early to be in the rush slide. And the stage door huddle afterwards is something to be beheld. Oh my gosh, we are here to see a playbill truck. Look at this. Playbills being delivered. The sausage getting made. Look at that. Good job, Playbill, for the fantastic work you do. My favourite play on Broadway, Stereophonic, here at the Golden, which will be the home of Operation Mincemeat in the new year, for any West End fans watching this. Most of Broadway's theatres can be found between 7th and 8th Avenue, some of them between 7th and 6th on the other side, which is when we talk about going over to the other side. There is one theatre in the Midtown Manhattan Theatre District, at least, that can be found between 8th and 9th, and that is Moulin Rouge over here at the Al Hirschfeld. So we're going to have to wait to cross the street and then wait again to come back. Only slightly annoying. The Al Hirschfeld, formerly the Martin Beck Theatre, currently home to Moulin Rouge, one of the most aesthetic marquees on Broadway, and also in the West End. They are a stylish, stylish show, and they know it. We have hit the 1/3 mark, oh well, we're 1 minute away from it actually. We've hit 19 minutes. I think we might have been to 19 theatres. I think that last stretch might have caught us up, but I don't know. I'm not keeping count. This is Moulin Rouge here at the Al Hirschfeld. You'll apologise if I don't show you all the marquee because I'm just going to get underneath, wave to myself. I don't know if you can see yourself, there you go. And then head back. I didn't make it fast enough to get back on the same light, but I do need to cross the street left. Anyway, so we're going to do that now. We're going to go up to the other side of 45th, take a moment to steel ourselves, take a little break. That's the sound of Manhattan, everybody. Streets would be a little quieter if I'd done this slightly earlier in the day, but honestly, depends on the time of year, and you have to get up pretty early to beat Broadway. How's everybody doing? Are you having a nice time? I wonder if I'll edit this at all, because I haven't stopped talking. Oh my gosh, it's happening. It's happening. I got too laissez-faire, everybody. You will know exactly what theatre we're approaching because they have giant advertising space on this wall that we can't see because of this green thing. Hold on, let me move further to the right here so you can see that. There you go. Choose the ride. Join the circus. We are approaching the Imperial Theatre, home to Water for Elephants. Another one, based on a film, based on a book, featuring animal puppetry, featuring incredible circus skills and acrobatics. I saw it for the second time earlier this week and enjoyed it thoroughly. And it's going to be home to Smash in the spring. Imperial, Water for Elephants. Next up, my favourite new musical on Broadway, Stuffs. Sadly, also closing in early January in the new year, having struggled to really find its audience, as many of the shows did this season, honestly, but also kind of in this bittersweet place now where I think it's become a very difficult watch, given the results of the presidential election last week at the time of me filming this. This week, in fact. It's Friday after the Tuesday, and it's enduringly a very difficult time, as it will continue to be for the foreseeable. Passing up now through, I think this is officially called Nederlander Way, but it's the entrance to the Marriott Marquis Hotel, where you can find the Marquee Theatre. And we've got this for Elf here to get to the theatre, into the hotel, up the escalator. It's on the first floor. Controversial because there used to be multiple theatres here that were demolished to make way for this hotel with only one theatre, which we don't love, needless to say. We don't love that. Gonna try and cross the street here. Maybe, no, let's go get the Richard Rodgers first. Before we cross the street, that would be foolish. Richard Rodgers, home to the little-known musical Hamilton. Just another one, again, trying to find its audience. Will it take off? Who knows? Who's to say? Of course. Enduringly one of the hottest tickets on Broadway, one of the most successful musicals of all time, one of the most culture-defining, zeitgeist-piercing musicals of all time. Crossing the street from something very established to something completely brand new. Don't get hit by a cyclist. We are beneath the Lunt-Fontanne Theatre, serving Lunt for Death Becomes Her. I did pass under the marquee, I promise. Now, pay attention to this. I'm about to show you another little breezeway hack. This is allowed. This is legal. We're passing through the Edison Hotel. Or the entrance to the Edison Hotel. Also the entrance to the restaurant Bond 45. They have a Six the Musical themed booth downstairs. Try the chocolate mousse. It's so good. But this is Hotel Edison's lobby, and also where you will find Friedman's restaurant in Midtown. They have multiple locations, but at this one, they host something called Gale's Broadway Rose with singing servers, and they're very talented. It's my preferred choice for singing musical theatre waiters, actually. Ooh, revolving door. I hate a revolving door. I hate these so much. I have an irrational fear of them. We survived. Good job, everybody. Right, heading left immediately. Immediately. I've become hysterical. Heading left to go down to the Lena Horne Theatre, where you will find the aforementioned Six the Musical. Currently enjoying success on Broadway, as it is around the world. It tells the story of the Six Wives of Henry VIII, reframing them as a contemporary pop group. But it's smarter than a lot of people give it credit for, and the music is just great. You can find it here at the Lena Horne Theatre on Broadway. We are going to pass just beneath the marquee, and then we're going to attempt to cross the street. Ooh, there is equipment here at the Samuel J. Friedman Theatre with the Manhattan Theatre Club. Are they loading in for Eureka Day? They are. These flight cases say Eureka Day. That's the play that's coming to the Friedman Theatre, operated by the Manhattan Theatre Club, later this year. And in the new year, as you can see advertised there, Stephen Sondheim's Old Friends, the review celebrating Sondheim, as many have before. Another one direct from London, with many of the London cast transferring, including original leading stars Bernadette Peters and Lea Salonga, with many exciting names joining for the Broadway production. Speaking of exciting names, the starry cast of Our Town can be found here at the Barrymore Theatre, led by Jim Parsons. Pictures there. This, I think, is the moment where we cross the street. Yes, I can see the palace. I have eyes on the palace. We're going to cross to the palace. It's saying walk right now, but that's not going to... I'm power walking. Ball heel, ball heel, ball heel, ball heel. It's still a cross signal. I'm not close to it. Come on, we can make it. Is that just the first bit? Maybe the next bit's not. We're on the wrong side of the street as well. Oh, it's just changed. It's the last few moments of it. This is fine. Don't get hit by cyclists. Don't get hit by cyclists. Cars coming around a truck so they can't see us. That's slightly dangerous. Passing alongside the TKTS booth. This is somewhere where you can queue up and get tickets, discounted tickets for a bunch of Broadway shows. Advertising their hours of operation there. I don't think they're quite open yet this morning. We're nearly halfway through, but I feel better about where we are this time than I did last time. It's that last bit to the Vivian Beaumont. It's still just going to be such a challenge, but we're going to somehow make it work. Right, we're going to pass beneath the palace. I haven't been to the palace. I'm going for the first time tomorrow. For years it's been under construction because they have been lifting it off the ground. I'm not kidding. They have been elevating the whole theatre to make use of retail space below it. Capitalism. But it's advertising in blinding panels Tammy Faye. Another one from London. Many light bulbs. I've heard the renovation is lovely, and I'm excited. I won't be able to appreciate it because I hadn't seen it before, but I'm excited just to see a pretty theatre, as I always am. Carrying on, we're going to go to the end of this street and then up and through. There is a hotel entrance there. I'm not prepared to start going into hotels if I don't know they connect to the other side of the street. That seems like a foolish idea. We're going to the James L. Jones Theatre, which is the last one to the right-hand side of 7th Avenue. Gutenberg played there, and they referred to it as the weird side of Broadway, charmingly. Currently, it is home to the play Left on 10th with Peter Gallagher and Juliana Margulies. They have a new tenant coming in the spring. I think it's either Buena Vista Social Club or Real Women Have Curves. I can't remember which. We're at 29 and a half minutes. So that's okay. I can see subway entrances and I'm thinking about the subway journey that lies ahead of me. That's what makes me nervous, because the first time I did this challenge, coming down from Lincoln Center, the subway was so on my side. We got very lucky with that subway transaction. There is one in 1 minute. There is a one train heading downtown. It's going well. We didn't have to wait for the subway. And I just don't know if I'm going to be able to replicate that kind of luck. I also haven't really pre-mapped out. I know I'm going to try and get on at the Winter Garden. I know that's going to work, but I haven't thought it through far enough to know like exactly what platform I'm going to, or maybe I'll have time to check on my phone. Radio City is up there, often the home of the Tony Awards, and I think they're returning this year, back in Radio City. And by this year, I mean next year, 2025. You can also find Rockefeller Plaza, Magnolia Bakery, home of the world-famous banana pudding. I think this is, yes. Okay, this is the street. We're going to go get the James L. Jones, then we're going to cross back over for the last time and hit the Longacre and the Walter Kerr, which share a street. When Lempicka was open at the Longacre, it was affectionately renamed Chavkin Way, or Chavkin Street, because both musicals were directed by Rachel Chavkin. Now the Longacre is home to Swept Away, which I saw last night, actually. And again, if you want to know my thoughts on all these shows, as well as seeing my experience going to them, check out the review and the vlog content on my YouTube, but also I post thoughts about them over on other places. You can find me on TikTok, you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on the app formerly known as Twitter, unless by the time you're seeing this I've decided that that's just not worth it being on there, which is very possible because I question that every day. Coming up to the James L. Jones, what can I tell you about this theatre? I love their renovation, their merchandise lobby area on the right-hand side. Nothing on the signage there on the front to tell me which show is coming in next, but it's this. This is all the newly added renovation bit. This used to be called the Court Theatre before being renamed for the late actor James L. Jones. With his passing and with Sondheim's passing, are there any theatres named after individuals who are still with us? I've got two streets to cross now because Broadway and 7th Avenue have diverged. That's not helpful at all. I'm thinking I've got like 10 to 15 left. They start to get a bit more sparse up in this bit, but the Broadway and the Winter Garden are the ones I need to not forget because they are sort of set apart. And then finally the Vivian Beaumont at the end, up at Lincoln Center, which I could walk to if people are wondering why I'm determined to get the subway. It's from the top of Midtown Manhattan Theatre District. It's about a 20-minute walk, probably less at a gay pace. Is this Broadway? No, this is 7th Avenue. Broadway's the next one over. Broadway is an actual street, if you did not know that. We say on Broadway because Broadway is an actual street. However, only one theatre is entirely on Broadway. I mean, it depends who you ask. Some of them like touch Broadway or encounter Broadway. There's only one that you can like stand on Broadway and then enter that theatre, really. And that is the aptly titled Broadway Theatre, which I think must be confusing for tourists. I've heard stories of people going to the Broadway Theatre and expecting to see any number of musicals because, you know, you Google Broadway Theatre, you get that address. Crossing through Times Square. Oh, this makes it easier to cross Broadway. We're on Broadway right now. This is Broadway. That pedestrianised half of it makes it easier to cross. And we're going to go and hit up the Longacre. We're going to go wave to Swept Away. I had a sudden fear that I'd missed one. At this point, if I have skipped one further down, and I only realised that later, then it's over. I make one mistake, the whole thing is doomed. But I think the dream is still alive. In a perfect world, I'd love to finish with 20 minutes to go to the Vivian Beaumont, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm a very congested walking area now, which makes navigation challenging, but always remember to be polite. We're beneath the Longacre right now. I'm hoping you can see some of the beautiful artwork for Swept Away, because it is my favourite artwork of this season. We're now beneath the Walter Kerr, where Hadestown is. Hadestown, which not too long ago celebrated its 5th anniversary on Broadway. It is concurrently running in the West End. Tony Award-winning Best Musical, composed by singer-songwriter Anais Mitchell. We have another breezeway. It's a parking garage. This is actually where the queue for Hadestown goes into if you're coming to see the show. But this will take us up to the Ambassador Theatre and the Eugene O'Neill on our left. The Ambassador being the first Broadway theatre that I ever went to on my first trip to Broadway, which you can watch the vlog of. Neither of us had been to a Broadway house before, so the Ambassador was our first to see Chicago on the night we landed, which is something of a choice. I've sort of preferred landing, getting our bearings, and then seeing a show the next day. But that's going to be inherently a little bit more expensive. You need to be here for a longer time. It'll take you more show slots. Ooh, Playbill van here as well at the Eugene O'Neill. They carry on a little later into the day than I had realised. The Eugene O'Neill Theatre here, Book of Mormon, there you go. Eugene O'Neill, named for a playwright. Multiple Broadway houses named for a playwright. I should mention the Walter Kerr is named for a critic, which I obviously enjoy being a theatre critic. Will we ever get the Mickey Joe Theatre? I'm joking, I'm being very facetious. Passing beneath the Ambassador now. Book of Mormon across the street just last week celebrated their 5,000th, 3,000th, 4,000th. Some sort of big performance anniversary on Broadway. Does that connect to the other side? No, I don't think it does. It's fine, we're nearly at the end of the street. We're going to go up and around. We've got the Neil Simon, we've got the August Wilson, we've got Studio 54, we've got the Broadway, we've got the Winter Garden. I can walk through... What is this, a CVS? Thank you, CVS, I cut off the corner. That's going to make all the difference. Passing, worth saying as well, I'm only including Broadway theatres. Oh, this is the Winter Garden. This is where I plan to finish. But we're right here. Do I change my plan? No. Stick to the plan. This could be the undoing of me. This could be a huge mistake, and I'm sure many of you think it is. It seems a bit crazy to go up and then come back on myself just to get the subway. But I think this is the way to do it. Crossing the street. Thank you for that van that didn't run me down. Eternally grateful to you for the rest of my life. As I was saying, we are only including Broadway houses in this challenge and not off-Broadway theatres, some of which are downtown, some of which are off-Broadway geographically, others of which are right here. I'm looking at an off-Broadway theatre right now. And if I go further down this street, that way, I will get to New World Stages, which is in fact a collection of off-Broadway spaces. Lincoln Center Theatre is home to one Broadway house, but also a lot of other performing arts spaces that are not Broadway houses, including a concert hall and a little off-Broadway theatre, I believe. None of which I've been into. So I say that with just a degree less certainty than I tell you the rest of this information. Feel free to Google and fact check anything I say. We're going to pass under the entrances to two Broadway spaces right now, both of which you can find under here. There we go. This is the entrance to Circle in the Square, which is downstairs in this building, where Romeo and Juliet is currently playing, starring Kit Connor and Rachel Zegler. I saw it recently, I loved it. And then Wicked at the Gershwin, Broadway's largest auditorium, which you can find upstairs. You've got up escalators. Through there, it's all very green. They also have, I can't remember what it's called right now, but they have engraved inside of their building the names of many legendary theatrical persons, which is very special. I think I'm passing next to, this is the Times Square Church. I think this used to be a theatre. There's some sort of contention around it. But also, there is a conversation to be had about how many different theatres Broadway can sustain as an industry and as an ecosystem. Does it really have the audiences for so many theatres to be simultaneously open? Because when there's shows in every theatre, inevitably there are one or two at least that are not selling as well as the others. And that's just sort of a reality of the thing. But what is the sweet spot of the number of shows that can be open successfully at any given time? I certainly don't think it's full capacity on Broadway. We are walking away from Back to the Future. Have we made a huge mistake? We will find out. We're turning left. A few more theatres to get to. I have passed the 40-minute mark. This is when I wanted to be heading up to Lincoln Center. Can I do that in 5 minutes? I will say, if we don't complete this challenge today, just walking into a gap that I saw there before it closed, if we don't complete this challenge today, last time I did it in 67 minutes. It is 7 minutes over an hour. We've taken an hour and 7 minutes, so not quite as close as I thought it might be. So if we can do it in less than 67, I think that's still a win. As is how much information I have been able to convey to you on this frantic walking tour. Imagine I was leading a tour group right now, running. I'd have got most of them killed. First of all, going to pass onto the Neil Simon Theatre where MJ the Musical is playing. They recently celebrated Halloween with a special Thriller night performance where they performed Thriller at the curtain call. And why wouldn't they? There you go. I like that they have a flag up there. MJ also running in the West End at the Prince Edward Theatre. You can also see the August Wilson across the street, the Kit Kat Club, where you will find the revival of Cabaret, also concurrently running in the West End. We're going to cross the street here because this car flashed us very kindly. I'm going to pass underneath the Kit Kat Club. Just like in London, you do not enter this venue via the traditional doors. The box office is here on the front, but when you enter, you go through a little makeshift alleyway to the side, over here, that one, to enter via the stage door. I think I wanted to go left there, to Studio 54. I did. I'm going to go the other way around the block because it's shorter. We're at 42 minutes. The dream is still alive. The dream is still alive, especially for beating 67. Because I've got 25 minutes left to do that, and I feel good about that. But if I take exactly the same amount of time on this new route, I think I've done way better today. I think I've made fewer mistakes. So maybe that indicates last time's route was the better route, starting at Lincoln Center and then heading down. I don't know if I can replicate that really speedy first journey down. Is this always in the hands of fate? Am I just needing to surrender to fate? At this time, I'm going to check my Broadway theatres map on my phone that I was planning my route on last night in the hotel. Yep. Okay. It is just the Vivian Beaumont, Studio 54, which is up on 54th Street. Oh, we just missed the lights. And the other one. Oh, and the Broadway and the Winter Garden. Yeah. Studio 54, we'll come back via the Broadway, we'll hit the Winter Garden, we will tube, or subway, I should say, we're in the US, to the Vivian Beaumont up at Lincoln Center. Is that another Playbill van? Oh, we've seen so many. I told you we weren't going to see any of them. Now, last time I did this challenge, as I walked under this bit here, I spotted Tony Award winner Bonnie Milligan. Tony Award winner Bonnie Milligan just walked past me, but she was on the phone, so I didn't want to yell that I love her work. But I do love her work. And by that point, we were already over an hour. And we're not even at 45 yet, so... True, we haven't done Lincoln Center this time, but I'm feeling encouraged. I think I had way more theatres to go when I hit the hour mark than I already do this time. Already we're nearly there. If I can be one away at the hour mark, then I will feel better about that. Oh, parking garage goes all the way through. Well, now we know. Passing under Studio 54, another roundabout theatre, company-operated theatre. Gorgeous entryway, which is a very personal thing to say. Wonderful World, the Louis Armstrong musical. Also, that is the entrance to 54 Below, iconic cabaret space. I myself, can't believe I'm plugging this, host a monthly cabaret show in London called Mickey J Theatre Live, where I am joined by West End stars, performers, as well as a different musical theatre composer each month to showcase their work. And we chat and we sing and we do musical theatre trivia with the audience, an in-person audience, but you can also live stream it from anywhere in the world. Where's the Broadway Theatre? I've been lied to. Where is it? Where is she? Oh, it is down there. Cool. This one I affectionately refer to as the Colbert Theatre, and it is where The Late Show with Stephen Colbert films. Correct me if I'm wrong, this used to be the Ed Sullivan Theatre. Last time I did this challenge, someone was like, you didn't include the Ed Sullivan Theatre. It's not currently an operational Broadway theatre, that's why. But I believe it used to be. I think that's where the Ed Sullivan Show used to film, and it's now what I call the Colbert. Gosh, it's warm in the sun. Heading towards the appropriate green light of the Broadway Theatre where the Great Gatsby is currently playing. The lights changed just in time for me. New York loves me, oh my God. Here we go, at the Broadway Theatre, previously home to Here Lies Love, previously home to Miss Saigon, and a lot of other things. Great Gatsby, currently playing. They've just announced a London transfer, not to the West End necessarily, but a limited run at the Coliseum Theatre, home of the English National Opera. That's the Great Gatsby. A great show for people expecting like Broadway with a little bit of vibrato on it. Broadway with a capital B. This light is changing. We can make it. We can make it because this light is changing, and that means it's about to go to the other one, and I can cross two streets at once, which is great news for me. We're not at 50 minutes yet. We still have 12 minutes left to do that Lincoln Center bit. I don't think Google Maps said it was doable in 12 minutes, but I'm a gay person and I walk quickly. Compare and contrast my tone when presenting the start of this video and now. I do believe we've become a little bit more frantic. Frantic? I thought about saying frenzied and then I said frantic. Like Gruel from Mean Girls. How's my microphone doing? This tech setup has been much easier this time around. I think you'll agree. Hopefully the sound is good. So I should tell you, Ellen's Stardust Diner is on the corner here, always with a queue next to Back to the Future. I mentioned that Gale's Broadway Rose at Friedman's was my preferred. That's because I like the food a little bit better, and also because they sing musical theatre. Ellen's is a little bit pop rocky, not a lot of musical theatre, just not quite so much my vibe, but it is iconic and famous. Possibly it will be your vibe. Passing under now, Back to the Future at the Winter Garden Theatre with my best friend Casey Likes. I love you, Casey, if you're watching this video. We run into each other constantly in New York. I don't know why. We're just on the same wavelength, but it's lovely to see him every time. Right, Vivian Beaumont, I'm putting it in my Google Maps. I don't want to have to think about it, I just want Google to take me there. Oh, Google Maps says I can get there in 1 minute. If I get on the one, where is the one? Uptown in the Bronx. It's right here. It's right here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we're doing it. We're doing it. I'm at 49. Google says I can get there in 9 minutes. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is the one. Due in 0 minutes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just tapping. You can get on the subway with a contactless card. I use a Revolut card because you can load it with international currency. You don't have to tap to get out. Only on. The subway's arriving. The one train is here. I don't know where it's best to stand to get off and run to Lincoln Center, so I'm going to aim for the middle to hedge my bets. I might not film on the subway, but I'll show you when I get off. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, it's happening. It's happening. Okay, here we go. Where's the exit? Where's the exit? Where's the exit? This way. 65th and 66th Streets, Broadway, Lincoln Center. Google says this is a 6-minute walk. Google doesn't know how gay I am and how determined I am. But there are people on this platform. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Let's not walk close to the subway train. Let's be safe on the subway as a priority in all seriousness. And then let's exit the subway as quickly as we can. 66th Street and Broadway, sure, sure. Yes, Google also says that this part is a 7-minute walk. I would rather it not be. Have I just gone on the wrong side of the street? I think I have. Oh no, huge mistake. I'm gonna cross over. I am breaking out into something of a run. I know I said I wasn't gonna run. Whew. This is Alice Tully Hall. Oh my gosh, we're so close. We're so close. It's 11:57. I didn't start on the hour. I started at 3 minutes past. I have 6 minutes to do a 6-minute walk. The dream is alive. The dream is so alive. The dream is thriving. 65th Street. The side approach to Lincoln Center for the performing arts. That up there that you can see is Lincoln Center. Oh my gosh. McNeil, currently playing at the Vivian Beaumont Theatre. It's about Robert Downey Jr. and AI. Up the steps. Gosh, I'm warm. Gosh, I'm tired. Gosh, my throat is hoarse. But we can see the Vivian Beaumont just above the water. There, I cannot believe we managed that fast a change on the subway. It's like New York paved the way for us today, honestly, to do this challenge. And it is not easy. Even on the comments in my last one, people were saying, if I just did it a different way, it would be very easy. It is never easy to do every Broadway theatre in an hour. But don't WhatsApp me now, at 11:58, 55 and a half minutes, after we started, I have made it to Lincoln Centre's Vivian Beaumont Theatre entrance. Under the top of it, there's a merch desk for McNeil over there. The Beaumont Lincoln Centre, where we started our last challenge that would take us 67 minutes to complete. This time, 10 minutes plus shorter. I have just walked to every Broadway theatre. I could cry. Oh my gosh, I genuinely didn't think, when I looked last night at how to get to Lincoln Centre, I was like, it's still not going to happen. It's still not going to happen. But it happened. We did it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you everyone for coming with me. I didn't feel alone today doing that. I had you tiny people in my vlogging camera. Look at the beautiful, beautiful Lincoln Centre on this gorgeous day, this gorgeous, if I may say, slightly warmer than I would have liked day. But what a day it is to have visited every single theatre on Broadway. My goodness. I hope that that has been educational. I hope that that has been helpful in terms of just like navigating around. I feel like watching that whole video would give you a pretty good sense of Midtown Manhattan Theatre District geography. Don't be in the comments asking me to do one in the West End in an hour. That is not possible because the West End is more spread out. Maybe 90 minutes, but I don't even want to think about it because I'm tired just contemplating that. And I have an exciting day ahead of me in New York. You'll have to go and check out my vlog series to find out what I do next after this. But that has been every Broadway theatre successfully visited in 1 hour. I am astonished at myself. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you kept the faith. I don't know if I did the whole time. Comment down below with, I don't know, with questions, inquiries, thoughts, anything you want to know about Broadway, adjacent topics. Just tell me how you're doing today. I don't necessarily want to, I feel like I should issue a don't try this at home because it's challenging, but there's like 5 minutes of wiggle room if you do it my route. Thank you for joining, thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. I hope that everyone is staying safe and that you have a stagey day.
For 10 more seconds, I'm Mickey Joe Theatre. Oh my god, hey, thanks for watching, have a stagey day. Subscribe!